You mentioned Ibou Konate there. We need to speak about Ibou Konate in a little bit more detail. We're not going to sort of unpick his night to the nth degree because it's unnecessary. He wasn't the worst by any stretch of imagination. He wasn't particularly brilliant either. However, he's been an interesting sort of case in point in recent weeks because obviously we know how incredible he is when he's at the best version of himself, when he's at full tilt. He's up there with the best centre-backs in the Premier League for my money, potentially even across Europe when he's at it. However, there's always been this underlying issue with Konate, and it's predominantly centred around football and the lack of being able to be available for football on a regular time. Doesn't play 5-6 games consecutively very often, which is a problem in itself. He has injury concerns, fitness concerns along the way. However, I think actually in recent weeks, whilst he has been available, he's not always been selected. It's been Jarell Quansah been chosen ahead of him a lot, and I think eyebrows were raised at that on a few occasions. However, based on form now, a little bit like Jarell Quansah is well and truly in this conversation because Konate is not his usual self right now. And also, you mentioned it before about defensively is one thing, and we'll discuss that. But in possession, Quansah's the better bet.
That is the problem. It's teams have realised now that if they just let Konate have the ball, they've got a great time there, because what you don't want is Trent to have the ball, or even Virgil with his diagonal switches, and they know that Konate won't take a man on. He just won't take a man on. I think he might have done it once tonight and got a foul, but that was it. I mean, his passing range isn't at the level of a even Jarell Quansah does those balls at times. They're risky, but you know, he backs himself. Konate doesn't. He can't find the man, and it's like Jarell is closer to Matip, and in these games you need a kind of Joel Matip type of player who can get past the press and drag the midfield out, because when they go man for man, it's fine, they're sound with you playing in front of them. It's when you go around them and they've got to make a decision to press you or back off, that's where the space comes. And like you said, he's not as good on the ball. I also think at times tonight, and you know, he wasn't. He was horrific in the first leg, I'll be dead honest. But at times he just lets a ball bounce too many times when you want him to deal with it the first time. And it's like he has to win a battle 3 times because he's being hesitant. That's the only way I can describe it. And look, on his day, he's brilliant. In that Madrid final in 2022, he was our standout player. He was the best defender. So we know he's got the quality there. The problem is, teams have just worked out that they're absolutely sound with Ibou Konate having the ball at his feet, because he can't unlock passes, he doesn't take a man out the game, and also in a couple of weeks, and maybe it is just the fact that he, like you said, he doesn't get rhythm because he's in and out the team so much with injuries, that he looks a bit hesitant in everything he does. Yeah, he does, and you're absolutely spot on. And I think that the use of the ball thing is interesting. It doesn't feel to me like it's always been that way. I've never really been alarmed when Konate's on the ball, and I'm not panicking now when that is the case, but it does feel like his passing range has dipped a little bit, and he himself looks a little bit nervous. He's not quite sure where he's going to go with it. He's not as quick, he's not as crisp, he's not as sharp with it anymore. And whether that's because we've seen Jarell Quansah come in and do it really well, and we've seen that, and we're now sort of dipping down a level when it is Konate, that's one thing in itself. But it does feel like that's dipped ever so slightly with Konate. The only thing I can, because obviously we're liking it to Jarell Quansah, and I think on his day, Ibou Konate is an unbelievable centre half, without a shadow of a doubt, and he's on his best day. Him and Jarell Quansah's younger, Ibou Konate's better. He's a seasoned international, so he should be. Exactly. Yeah. However, the only way I can describe to you how influential Jarell Quansah can be is that penalty that he basically wins against Manchester United. Ibou Konate can't go and take 3 players out the game like a Joel Matip, like Jarell Quansah can do at times, and that's fine, because the centre-half shouldn't really be doing that. But at the same time, football's advancing, and you've got John Stones who just decides to waltz into midfield. You've got Joel Matip, who's so good at going on these little adventures and taking 3 players out the game, and then you've got acres of space because of midfielders had to run at you. And look, it's been a bad spell for Ibou, and I don't want to throw him under because I think he's a top quality defender. But it just shows what you're lacking in games where a team is just realised we're fine with you having the ball.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. If you're being the one who's allowed to be in possession, then you must have to look at yourself and go, hang on, why are these so comfortable with me having the ball? You're absolutely spot on. We're not criticising Konate necessarily, but you are right. Like, he was the man of match in our final, as you mentioned before, and we're far removed from that version of Ibou Konate, it feels like now. And in terms of the possession stuff, I think it's okay. You can almost live with the fact he's not great on the ball when you have got Trent alongside, you've got Robertson on the other side, you've got Virgil van Dijk next to him, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Jones ahead, etc., etc. You don't necessarily need Konate to be a wonderful pass for the ball. However, what he therefore then has to do is he has to defend properly, and I'm not convinced he's doing that right now either. You mentioned him, he's up against Skamaka, last week and tonight, who's he's a handful, he's powerful and make life difficult for you. But this is Ibou Konate. Like, he's come up against some of the very best world football has to offer sometimes, and usually, more often than not, comes out the better. Right now, it doesn't feel like he is. You said it there. He's hesitant. He's not commanding situations at all. He's losing battles.
He'll eventually win the ball, but he has to win the battle 3 times. He has to
That's not Ibou Konate, though, is it? That's not him.
I totally get you. But tonight it happened. It'd be like where he's got himself in a little bit of a muddle, but his recovery pace has got there, or he's managed to use his body at the last minute. And you clap and you say he's right, but he's losing the first 2 battles, and that's your problem. What I will say is, the first leg, he just decided to let Skamaka have an island to himself. Yes. Like, that lad was as free as a bird.
Yeah, it's not good.
And again, it happened tonight where, like, their crosses when they got into dangerous positions were absolutely horrific. They overhit it so many times. Where if they could just find the man, we might have been in a bit of trouble. But yeah, like you mentioned there, it's a bit of a mad one because you're left wanting more. Well,
the fact of the matter is, as you say, we know how high his ceiling is. I've sung how brilliant I think Ibou Konate is from the hilltops numerous occasions this season and previous as well, because I think he's boss. I think on his day, how good he can be knows no bounds because he possesses absolutely everything it takes to be a top quality centre-back. However, now, and this is going to sound really disrespectful to El Quanta, and it's absolutely not supposed to, by the way, the fact that we can sit here now, and before some games as well, we can have a conversation about should it be Quanta, should it be Konate, that almost shouldn't be a conversation that happens. Now, that's testament to how boss Quanta has been, don't get me wrong, and he really has been outstanding this season, like completely unexpected, incredible breakthrough year for him. However, the answer to the question, should it be Konate, should it be Quanta, should just be it's Konate. Yeah. But it isn't right now. And that shows you the Konate's having a dip, whilst Quanta's also rising.
What did I say before this game? I said, we were sat here on the podcast, I think it was, and someone asked me who I wanted, and I said it was a 50-50. If Jarell Quanta played, I'd actually be quite sound with that.
Is mad.
And he's played this competition, so I'm fine with you giving that. Where it was Alisson Becker or Kelleher, I was like, Alisson Becker, of course.
And Kelleher was also outstanding. Yeah. So whilst we're saying Quanta's been boss and therefore deserves to be in that conversation, Kelleher was also boss. Yeah. However, straight away it's like, it's Alisson Becker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that just shows you that Konate, whilst Quanta his trajectory's been outstanding, his form's been outstanding, there's no doubt about it. The fact that it is such a 50-50 is kind of because they've merged. Yeah. Konate's dipping whilst Quanta's rising. And listen, I'm not writing Konate off by any stretch of imagination. He'll probably...
He's not the main problem.
I'm far from it. No, it's just a conversation. We've done a lot of conversations about a lot of negatives in recent weeks, so we have to try and mix it up as much as we can. And it just feels like the Konate noise and the Konate situation is just under the radar, but is playing out in a weird kind of way right now. So yeah, anyway, number wise, Ibou.
I mean, he's kept a clean sheet, but like he's also offered me not more. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to give the lad. I don't know what to give half of these players
tough.
Because I don't know what I saw. Like, if I'd have saw energy and a bit of fight in that second half or something, then I could hang my hat on something. Instead, I'm sat here and I just want to know what the hell they got told to do in that second half, because I don't know.
I can't imagine it was what happened, because what transpired was just... I said it's soft, just non-event of a game.
He does
maybe a 6.
He doesn't. He's not a fault for anything. No. He doesn't cause anything, but at the same time, he takes a couple of chances. He takes a couple of tries to win a ball, and you're just on the ball. It's like they literally just left him to have the ball, and it's like, I just need you to beat a man, or I need you to take someone out the game, or try the risky pass, which no one decided to do at any point.
Yeah, all very tame.